All right, test, test, test. All right, test, test, test. Good. Seems that everything is working fine. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Like in all seasons, we will look at some battle reports today. I think we have some nice ones to look at. And we will also look at the map quickly and discuss what happened on this server and some of these other things. Right, pretty standard stuff. I do believe the battle reports are quite interesting. We have some things to look at, some things to debate or discuss or think about, so it should be good fun. Yeah. Okay, so let us proceed to share the screen. It's not sharing the screen, very interesting. So what's the problem here? Let's see. There we go. Okay, here we go. All right, I think everyone can see the screen now. Okay, so let's start. I just need to make sure that my siege doesn't get sniped here, because there are some very special people in Gondor this season. No surprises there, right? But I think it's looking okay for now. All right, so this is fine. And we will quickly build a fort here. So let us march there and build the fort. Okay, I have to wait a bit. So that my Witch King is ahead of the Eomer, right? You always want to send your siege army with the main army. That way it becomes much harder for enemies to snipe your siege army, and you don't have to watch them all the time, right? So here I'm sending my Witch King slightly before my Eomer, and I can now just go somewhere else and not worry about him anymore, right? So quite simple. I also check if I'm not blocking this guy or how far he is away. Okay, it's looking good. All right, so let's discuss what happened this season. Let's take a look at the map. Okay, so we are obviously playing in Mordor. You can see we've pretty much defeated all of the other factions. We took the ring, we took Dol Guldur yesterday, I believe. And yeah, I mean, I would say the season is pretty much over. All of our enemies have kind of surrendered, or we have reached some sort of agreement with them. And the ones we didn't reach an agreement with, well, we're still pushing them, of course, right? So yeah. Today we finished securing the ring territories, right? We finished Southern Anduin Vale here. We will go for the Lothlorien Pass as well, and then we pretty much have a perfect ring set up here. In Arno we pushed Dunland today, or Dunfermline as they called it, and we will probably keep pushing towards Rivendell. I see some people are already there. I guess that's an Eagle army or something. But yeah, we'll see. Rohan took a keep back today. We will take this back today as well. It just, you know, when you spread out like this, sometimes it will happen that you lose some of these little keeps, and yeah. All right, so what happened this season? Well, we entered with 1T, which is a pretty decent Korean team. We were just looking for a bit of a more relaxed season. We had a very busy last 3 seasons, I think, where we fought against really good opponents. So this season we just said we'll chill a bit, you know, have some fun, and yeah, that's what we did, right? What's up, Impala? Hope you're doing well. We need Kadov already. I think it will still take some time, but yeah, I think at this point the developers should end the season within like a week, because that's more interesting for all of the factions involved, in my opinion. So yes, definitely they should make the season shorter, but we already talked about this a lot of times, and they're not willing to do that just yet. So it is what it is. But yeah. So basically we entered with 1T, right? And we said, we made it very clear at the start, we're going to take on the entire server. We're not going to make any alliances with anyone, and we will just see where it goes, right? So we ORDR, as in ORDR, we went west. We went towards Gondor, Rohan, and Arnor. We killed those factions quite quickly, and 1T went east towards Rhûn, Lothlorien, and Erebor, and they killed those factions quite quickly. So both of our fronts were pretty easy. We didn't have to put a lot of effort, we didn't have to put a lot of time or strength, I would say, and we just destroyed those factions before Dol Guldur opened, which made it much easier to secure the ring very quickly, right? Usually this doesn't happen, but we were just able to push, grab up all of the resources, develop quickly, get our tier 4 group troops and, you know, PvP troops going, and yeah. Yeah, so that's that. That's the map. We offered the same deal to everyone. So we evaluated the battle performance of the other factions on this server. We decided that Lothlorien did a pretty good job. They fought hard. And they are mostly Season 4 or Season 5 players, I think. So, of course, a lot of them don't have very strong armies, but they put in a lot of work. And so we said, yeah, Lothlorien can finish with the second place rewards. That's completely fine with us. Well, actually, we said we will leave a certain amount of significant structures to our enemies and they can split it up among them however they like, right? So that's what we said. And we made this deal to all of the relevant factions. So, of course, Rohan, Rune, Linden, and Angmar, they are not relevant on our server. There's like maybe 5 players in those factions, which means it's pointless to give them any rewards, right? There's just no sense in that. If you join a random faction at the start of the season and you notice the faction is inactive, you need to switch your faction and go to a team that actually matters. It's quite simple. Everyone knows this at this stage. So yeah, so those teams we didn't consider. And then we made the same offer to Lothlorien, Arnor, and Gondor. I do believe the dwarves, Erebor, were somewhat involved as well, though that's Wanti's side. I'm not going to comment on that. But we basically said the following capitals are available for you, right? Or significant structures. We gave them the Grey Havens. We gave them Karn Doom. We gave them Rivendell. Initially, I will explain why this might not stay. We gave them Erebor, right? Elven King's Halls, Burzkala, and Orthanc was actually also included in the initial deal, right? So that's a lot of significant structures. We said you can keep all of those, distribute them amongst yourself however you want. You can fight for them. We don't care. We're not going to interfere. Okay? Lothlorien and Gondor said, okay, this is very generous. We basically said to Gondor they have to work their way up to the Grey Havens because we're going to keep Minas Tirith as our capital, because it's right next to Mordor, right? It doesn't make sense to give that back. So we said, okay, no problem. In order for you to finish with the capital, we will allow you to go through this pass, which they did. We will allow you to go through this pass, which they did. And they are now working their way up here, right? And they took this pass as well already. So, you know, very realistic for them to take Grey Havens, relocate there, finish the season with the capital, finish, done. Okay? So that was Gondor. Lothlorien said also okay. We will finish with the second place rewards, so we will keep Elven King's Halls. We will keep Burzkala. Burzkala was not included in our original deal, but honestly it doesn't really matter, like they can have it, whatever. And they're gonna take Karn Doom and Erebor, right? So those were the 3 capitals that they can have if they want to finish with second place rewards, which again, up to them. Good, Lost said, okay, no problem, we will do that. Alright, then we went to Arnor. We said you can keep Orthanc, you can keep Rivendell, we're gonna leave you alone, you can finish with the capital, normal 3rd place rewards, right? Arnor took a day to decide and then they told us, no, we are not going to accept your deal. I found this was very odd. We had put very little effort on Arnor previously, we just gave them some PvP. So for them to decline this deal was pretty stupid, honestly. They have 200, in theory they have 200 players. I guess like 25 of them are active in terms of our standards. But yeah, the leader just told me no. So we said, okay, we are not going to change our deal because we think it is very generous, which means you are going to remain enemies to us until the end of the season. And they said, okay. So here we are. We pushed Orthanc yesterday, I think. We're obviously gonna secure. We secured Dunland as well, like I already said, and I mean, yeah, we don't have an agreement with them, so we will most likely keep pushing towards Rivendell, which, you know, was their choice pretty much, and we are okay with that. I'm not going to force a deal on anyone who doesn't want to have a deal. So there we go. That's what happened with Arnar, which means that we will secure probably these capitals as well, and so Gondor will finish with the Grey Havens, Lothlorien will finish with these three most likely, and Erebor can finish with their capital, which is fine, right? So that's what happened on this server. Like I said, the season is pretty much decided, not a lot is happening. People are just chilling pretty much. I will start the construction of the fort here, because we do have to take back some tiles. One of the other players was quite naughty, right? And we're going to secure this tile now as well. So yeah. Okay, let me just check where my Selene is here. My Beruthiel took the spring. This is fine. So this is also done. We can recall her to the fort. Okay, so here I have to be a bit careful now, because these guys do walk through this tile, so I'm just gonna back off for a second. We don't want to snipe their reinforcements, right? The pink guys have behaved pretty well, so I'm always trying to be mindful of them. Of course, sometimes, you know, you might snipe something here or there, but in general, I always try to avoid sniping the reinforcements, and when I see it, you know, you can back off again. And yeah, like I said, sometimes it happens, it's unlucky, but most of the time, it does not. Okay, so this tile, so Iron has been a very naughty team. I will not talk about them because they're not worth any time or consideration, obviously, right? But yeah, they've just been total douchebags, and yeah, it is what it is. We'll still try to let the other Gondor guys finish with the rewards as best as possible, but at some point, you know, the patience runs thin of other players, and so we have to make sure that I'm just making sure to take all of the stuff from the Iron players in this region so that they can't do anything too crazy. But okay, so here we are. We can look at the rankings quickly. Nothing special, everything is quite standard. Like I said, we have, this is the affluence ranking. I don't think I've taken a resource tile in weeks, unless it's a resource tile I have to take back because some rogue player steals it or whatever, right? So 57k affluence, yeah. Way too many resources. I can run 4 or 5 armies without ever running low on barracks, right? So yeah, there's that. First occupation, we already looked at this last time. Obviously we took the first level 11. We took the first level 10. I'm not sure if I took the first level 12 or 13 because I wasn't that active on that day. Yeah, you can see I'm number 76 here. And here number 13. So I mean, this didn't really matter, like everyone was just, you know, looking for PvP at that point. And yeah, merit rankings are here. So some of these guys have been farming merit, which, you know, I'm not a fan of that personally, but some people like to do it, and that's their business. I usually like relax once the season is decided, and I'm just Loopy and I, we've kind of both stopped playing, or we're just doing what's necessary, like taking keeps or whatever, right? But you can see we reached almost 1 million merit this season, which is quite low, just because a lot of the enemies didn't resist. So yeah, that's that. Fellowship, we are first at 3.7 million affluence, 1T is second with 3.6, and then we have Ground, Maze, Seam, Pink, HOFD, SOFD, Wine, and Rosa. Okay, so those are the warbands that are on this server. This is the keep development tasks, I believe, combined with the merit. So we're number 19 here. Cool. think some of these guys are not doing keep tasks, to be honest, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Development levels we are first, yeah, of course, makes sense. And yeah, I mean, that's all of the leaderboard rankings, right? So that's good. Okay. Yeah, cutoff, since it was mentioned in the chat, so we have some time left to go. We have, on this piece of paper, we have 35 days left to go. Most of the time, the season lasts 40 days, right? Like 40 to 45 days. So if we say it lasts 45 days, then we have roughly 20 more days to go, right? Which is roughly 3 weeks, which is a little bit long, but you know, better than 60 days. So yeah, we're waiting for the season cutoff. We obviously finished with the Renowned Conqueror title this season, right? And we finished all of the chapters as well. After we took Dol, this one was finished too, because we of course occupy 5 significant structures, right? So very simple. And yeah, that's it. So good stuff. Yeah, so I think we can look into some battle reports now. That should be okay. Yeah, I mean, there will be some crossovers, but that's fine. Okay, now what I want to do, I will wait until my Undying is here, and then I will recall Gala and send it to the other front, because I want to send this towards Loth a little bit and see how it does. But yeah, so let's look at some reports here. So first of all, I've asked Björn to send me some reports. So let's see what we have here. So Loth has a couple of players that are pretty decent and that are also not Season 4 or Season 5 players, right? So let's make that clear. This is not a Season 3 or 4 player. I think it's a Season 5 or 6 player. He has an Undying at R4. The gear is pretty good. Actually, I would say this gear is perfect for Undying. This is exactly how I'm playing my Undying as well. And then of course he has the 2 defensive titles, and he doesn't have these 2 because he has not the highest respect. Okay, so this is good. I like this. Good stuff. The Bjorn with Perseverance. I like Perseverance a lot. I think it's a very strong set effect. Here he does not have the perfect gear. I like putting the Casque of the Submerged Isle here and the Berserker's Raiment, right? But this is okay because he still gets some attack on the Commander helmet. So the bad thing here is he doesn't have the +6 initiative from the Berserker's Raiment, right? Initiative from Bjorn is not that bad. It's quite important, especially if you fight against another Bjorn. But this is also pretty good gear, I would say, and it makes sense. So that's good. R14, by the way. So 3 titles max at level 47. Then we have the Sauron here, full agility and 3+6 items. I don't agree with this one personally. I think the highest agility you should go is either a full agility set with 1+6 item or at most 2+6 item, because this makes him faster than the enemy Bjorns, which means you reduce your chance drastically of having a big resource win via the Bjorn Madness, right? So this is a bit questionable, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's also not fully refined the Miara's Reigns here, but it's a decent setup, and it also makes kind of sense. The Sauron is R6, and then we have the Gandalf the White at Zenith 1 with also questionable gear. So Gandalf the White definitely needs a little bit of agility, because otherwise your White Council gets cut very hard by the enemy Saurons, right? So any Sauron that plays half agility here will be faster than this Gandalf the White. Just because he's going for 0 agility on the Gandalf the White, right? So if we look at my Sauron, this is 41 plus 6 is 47 initiative, right? That is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I did catch one Gondor guy here. And my Gandalf, my Sauron, so we said 40, 47 or 46, I think, right? And my Sauron is at, so this is 43, plus 11 is 53, plus 1 is 54, and then they also get 4 more initiative. So my Sauron is at 58 initiative, right? And that's very bad, because it means I will cut his White Council by roughly 20%, which is pretty bad for him when the fights happen. Okay, anyway, so this was Hopman, right? And the Gandalf the White, like I said, you need some agility there. He opted to play Woodmen and Trolls. What's very interesting about this is that Woodmen have a built-in evasion, right? However, in the reports, this does not conflict with the evasion from Undying, which is very interesting, and I actually didn't know that. So you learn something new every season, right? In theory, the troop skills activate first, which means they should only have the 20%. But for some reason, the Undying evasion takes place here as well, which is quite odd. So if we take a look here, enemy of the orcs, Undying gets avoidance, and then it checks for the Woodman avoidance first, right? And here it did not happen, so the White Council. But if we look here, so here we have was granted avoidance by Woodman. So it does consume the stacks, of course, if you get double avoidance. I mean that obviously makes sense, right? But here you can also not see what I mean. So we have to scroll down a bit further, right? So let's see here. Here it also triggered again. That's pretty funny. Here, Cataphract attacks. Woodman, Nature's Veil did not affect Woodman. Woodman was granted avoidance by the Undying Undead Commander. Which means in the first few rounds you have to get through double evasion and White Council. Which is obviously not that bad for him, right? So this army is not that bad. One of the big disadvantages of the Woodmen is the low initiative, right? They have 6, and the other skill is also completely useless. So, yeah, I'm not such a fan of this army. I think if you go for small units, the Vosus Hunters are very, very good. The Guardians are very, very good. These guys, they can sometimes be a little bit inconsistent, right? So it's okay, but I'm personally not such a fan of running triple Woodman comps. Even if he stacks them nicely with Undying here, right? So he's playing the triple support as well. We have 194 defense on the Trolls, 624 command, which is minus 38 damage received. Then we have 93 defense here. This is quite low, I would say. 130 command, also not that high. This is just minus 11.5 damage received. And then we have 110 defense here, 599 command. This is not bad. And then we have 113 defense here and 677 command. So this Gandalf actually has a lot of command. I like having a little bit higher focus than this. I think this item and this item at Zenith, these should be Obsidian Daggers and Golden Pipes, but in this composition it's not that bad with the triple support, right? At the end of the day, you don't need that much damage mitigation with your Gandalf the White anyway, if you play the triple support. Okay, so let's look at Björn's gear. So he has a Zenith 5 Sauron, no refinements on the Call of the Forest, right? So this is a big minus. But I mean, 710 command is still very, very solid. So these are tanky Swan Knights, 165 defense. I would say, I would consider, if you play this helmet, I would consider running a Reckoning here, right? If the defense is around 200, it's usually a lot better. and with the Reckoning you achieve that, and you already have focus on the helmet. You don't need 2 focus items here, right? I think you changed this helmet recently, so that's why we were running the Noldor sword, but yeah, you understand what I'm saying. We do have plus 86 focus here. This is too high because at the end of the day you don't get that much value out of Sauron's focus, so having 1 focus item is more than enough, and then the other item should be, of course, full defense and command, right? So not bad. I mean, this will be at 185, right? 185 defense. This is not bad. Then we have the Gunner of the White with the Obsidian dagger and the fine smoking pipe, of course. Very standard. Half agility, very good. Not a lot to complain here. I don't like the cataphracts on Gunner of the White personally. I like the Marauders just because of the speed boost. I think in this fight it doesn't matter, but yeah, the enemy Sauron is most likely faster anyway, right? But still, I do like the Marauders more than the cataphracts. And then we have the Saruman. Saruman is at Zenith 1 with the unique finally. He unlocked it this season, so that's very good, right? We got some unit defense, which is fine. And yeah, I mean, this gear is pretty good. Not a lot of complaints. Here you could consider having the elf Hauberk or whatever it's called, the green one. But of course you also have to check if you have the set effect and blah blah blah, right? It's not that easy. Do we see it here? No, he doesn't have it. Yeah, this one, the Elven Cloak it's called. Yeah, you could consider playing that here, but this is a very good Sauron. We have 235 focus. Berserkers, I'm not a fan of. I prefer the Vosus Hunters for sure. For Saruman, it's quite important that he goes first these days. So Vosus Hunters are pretty solid, in my opinion. But yeah, it's fine. And then we have, yeah, the skills are obviously normal here. I don't have to comment on the skills. I don't think everything is quite standard here. Yeah, I mean, this is all very standard. And then we have the Bjorn at Zenith 1 with half agility, half might. Very nice. Helmet not fully refined here. And we're playing the Bjorn with eagles, which is okay. That's something that you can do. Yep. And we see that, I mean, this fight, of course, Hopman has the counter here, right? You have the Woodman into the eagles, which is bad. And that's why the Bjorn here, if he hits the eagles, he's going to do a lot of damage, right? That's just normal. We also have the chance that, you know, there was some evasion at some point, so let's take a look here. If we go to round 4. Yeah. So here's the first problem. One of the White Council stacks is still active in round 4, right? This is, I would say this is just unlucky. I've tested the Undying Gunner of the White combination a lot, and most of the time this is way too inconsistent to say that yes, the Bjorn is always going to hit White Council with one of his attacks in round 4, right? The other reason, of course, is the evasion of the Woodman, right? If you get some lucky evasion in addition to the Undying evasion, then of course it makes a lot of sense that your Bjorn will also be mitigated in round 4. So this is the first problem I see here. Then here another White Council on Woodman, right? So we have 2 that are mitigated now. And these are the trolls. Yeah, I mean, this is normal. The trolls are very tanky, so this makes a lot of sense. Let us just check the attack on the Bjorn here. So the Bjorn has 200. Okay, this attack is a little bit on the lower side, 207 attack. I guess it's because I have my unique refined a few times. But yeah, I mean, this will still put you at 209.5 attack, which is more than enough, right? I see, so here +6 is quite unlucky. I think I have a lot more than that on my Bjorn. If we quickly check here, let's see. Yeah, okay. So I rolled 3 times the commander attack, which is why, and I have it refined a few times, so I'm on 330, 2.5 attack. But like I said, this this attack he has is reasonably fine, so it's not a big deal. It's just something to comment on because the enemy is playing a pretty defensive heavy build. So basically what happened in round 4 is you hit 2 times White Council and you hit the tank with your third attack, so you know, that's, I would say that's reasonably unlucky. And it makes a lot of sense now why your Bjorn did less damage than the enemy's Bjorn, right? If we take a look here, I bet he hit your Eagles. We have, yeah, there you go. So he hit the Eagles, which is of course also a little bit lucky for him because the Woodman countered the Eagles, obviously. He didn't get maddened, yeah, also lucky. You have the madness chance here if your Bjorn goes fast, right? Does not affect Bjorn, so yeah, just some unlucky stuff here, and then your Berserkers didn't have White Council, which is a bit surprising because he is playing a triple support. In the triple support, it is quite likely that your army is protected in round 4 with at least 1 hit, because he doesn't have a lot of commanders that get rid of White Council, right? You're playing the Swan Knights as well, which means the Undying auto attacks, they will hit the Swan Knights all the time. If we look here at the Undying, we just need to see a normal attack protected by Swan Knight, right? So yeah, and these guys are obviously not protected, so again, a little bit unlucky here. But not, sometimes his Bjorn will also hit the White Council in this army setup. And here he probably just got a high unit damage proc, because, as you know, all of the damage is dependent on this statistic here. So we have 59 to 69, which means it makes a big difference if you get 69 on the round 4 Big Bjorn nuke the skin changer, or if you get 51, right? And if you have him non-zenith, you can still get 66 and you can get 51 in this case, right? Which is a pretty big difference still. So there we go. In terms of the Saruman, I suppose, let's take a look here what happened. So, okay, so this, I mean, this explains the entire fight. I should have checked the round 1 first. Your Saruman got maddened in round 1 by the enemy Sauron, which usually results in an auto loss. So, yeah. This also explains a lot of the stuff I mentioned before as to why you didn't have White Council up anymore in round 4 and why the enemy did on 2 of his squishier commanders, right? So if this happens, yes, it is very simply just unlucky. And this is actually the worst thing that can happen to you. I've said this last season as well. If my Saruman gets maddened in the first round, there is a very high chance that I do not win the fight actually on the G-Unit account. So this is the worst thing that can happen. The Bjorn nuke in round 4 is less impactful in my army just because of the way I set up. But yeah, so this is what happened here. I think you still pretty much, like, it was still a close fight. Of course he won a little bit on the resources, right, because you have the Eagles here. But if you put Marauders here instead of the Eagles and Marauders here instead of the Cataphracts, I'm pretty sure you will still win the fight in terms of resources quite easily. So yeah, that's just a side note. Okay, and like I said, the Berserkers here are not great. I don't like the Berserkers on Saruman. I don't think it makes a lot of sense. The Vosus Hunters are just infinitely better, right? And you're now in the spot where in round 4 you are missing out on an extra madness chance on the enemy Bjorn because your Saruman is slower than the enemy Bjorn, right? Which is a bit of a shame. If we check round 2 here, so here you did your head of the White Council, good, blah blah blah. So nothing special happened here. Let's take a look at round 3. I think nothing special happened here either, right? Yeah, so just very standard stuff, and because you're slower in round 4, if the Saruman was faster than your Bjorn in round 4, which you achieve with the Vosus Hunters, you further increase your chance that you get rid of all of the white council stacks before your Bjorn attacks, right? Very, very important. So that's the stuff here. Okay, here we have a pretty similar result. I would say this one was a little bit better, right? This is 2.9k to 2.4k, and this one is 3k to 2.5k. Yeah, so this one was a little bit better. I guess your Saruman didn't get maddened in round 1 here. Nope, he did not, so that's very good. Let's check round 3. Don't see anything happening here. Yep. And then if we go to round 4, yeah, here's the problem I described. The madness from the Sauron, if you play full agility, will happen too early, right? So this is bad from him. What's up, Atzel? I hope you're doing well. Okay, so here, let's see. The mountain trolls take 4.6k damage. Yes, sure. The woodmen, again, are protected by the White Council, and you hit them for 3.3k damage. I mean, honestly, this is horrible. I think you got a very low commander damage proc here. This should never be like 3.3k. That's crazy. We are on 201.7 attack. Yeah, so that's just something very weird happened there. And again, yeah, again there is the evasion in round 4 for the Bjorn. So only 3.382k damage here, which is obviously not great, right? You didn't hit the enemy Bjorn, I believe, right? No, you hit the Sauron and the Gandalf the White. So you hit the 3 tanks with the skin changer here, which is, I guess, unlucky, right? You hit 3 and you hit the 3 who play high command and unit defense. Okay. Now here he somehow hit no White Council again, even though he plays triple support into Swan Knights, which is very odd, I would say. He hit the Cataphracts. He hit the Eagles again. Yeah, so this again, he hits your Eagles, you don't hit his Bjorn stuff, and for some reason they still have the White Council in round 4, which it's unlucky. Yeah, I guess there was a lot of evasion here, or the Saruman targeted the same army for the head of the White Council like 2 or 3 times, which it happens. You know, it's not a lot you can do about that. It happens. But in general, I would say like this is a fine report. Again, the big suggestion would be here Wosus Hunters on the Saruman. And of course, Eagles into small units will always be bad, right? It makes a lot of sense. So no big surprise there. Okay, here is an even better report than the previous 2 ones, right? 3k to 1.5k. So as you see, the first one, like I said, was indeed extremely unlucky. Your Saruman got hit with madness again in round 1, but you resisted this time, so that's good. Let's see if anything happened in round 3. No, looks fine. And I guess in this report you do hit the Bjorn and maybe not all White Council. So here we hit the Mountain Trolls. Yeah, there we go. So we did not hit White Council here for one of the Woodmen. These are the Gandalf the White Woodmen. And here we hit, here we hit this. Again, you didn't hit the enemy Bjorn here, right? So the damage would be even higher. But this is a report where I would say this is realistic. This makes a lot of sense. Most of the time it will be like this. You didn't hit a single White Council here, right? So that makes sense. And then your enemy, let's see here, 15k to the Cataphracts, 8k to the Swan Knights, and 50k to the Berserks. Okay, I still don't understand how he doesn't hit any White Council here. This does not make a lot of sense. How is he getting rid of the White Council on your side? He has, let's count. He has a Gandalf the White attack. This is someone else here. So, Undying. Okay, so Undying, I guess there's a little bit of RNG there because one of your formations will not be protected by the Swan Knights. Okay, whatever. But two of them will be protected. So he will hit, these two attacks go into the Swan Knights. The Bjorn has only this in round 2 and this in rounds 1 and 3. That's not enough to get rid of White Council. The Sauron has, this is nothing. This is 2 in round 3. This is 1 in round 3, and that's it. And the Gandalf the White just has the white. He doesn't even have the wizard. I have no idea how he gets rid of your White Council in round 4. I have no idea. That makes zero sense. He has literally the worst White Council removal in this army you can have. Like, there's nothing to remove White Council here. There's literally nothing. So I have no idea how he hits. Did your Bjorn get maddened maybe or something? But that really doesn't make sense. Okay, Cyphers from Madness but is resisting. Okay, that's just an auto attack. That's nothing. That's also nothing. So, no clue. I guess it must be a situation where your Swan Knights protect. But even then, I don't see how I mean, who are this one? Even so, it doesn't make sense. So who is his Bjorn hitting? His Bjorn is hitting. I mean, the tank will not have White Council, obviously. That's fine. So he is hitting the Swan Knights. So this proc is reasonable, and I understand it. But these two. So this is formation 4 and formation 2. Okay. So let's take a look here. Okay, so formation 4 is protected. Formation 2 is not protected, okay, so with some luck, the formation 2 will not be protected by White Council. But formation 4, I don't see how he did that damage. I literally don't see it. Nothing here. Yeah, this is protected, right? So nothing here. This is 1. Wow. So he hits formation 2. He hits formation 3. And wait, who does he hit? Wait, I misread it. So he hits formation 2. Yes. Okay. Then he hits formation 1. Okay. And formation 3. So not formation 4. We're still on 0. Undying. Formation 3. Formation 3. And formation 2. We are still on 0. And this is protected. Protected by Swan Knight. Yep. So after the first round, he removed 0 stacks of White Council from your formation. From the one I'm looking at right now. Round 2. Okay, so we're looking at hits into formation 4. So again, they are protected here. So no removal of White Council. This is formation 3. Yep. Nothing happens here. Anduin Vale Chieftain, so this hits formation 2. Again, formation 4 is protected. So no hits there. This has to be a bug. Maybe the protection is not working anymore. We are on 0 hits into your Beyond formation in the second round. So it's physically impossible that you do not have White Council in round 4. It's not possible. There are not enough abilities and unit attacks to get rid of it there. Okay, so I have no idea. Yeah, this has to be a bug, or I don't know. Yeah, this does not make sense. Yeah, this does not make sense. We also checked the madness already. There was no madness. Nothing to analyze here. This has to be a bug. The protection on the Bjorn units did not work. Even though you can't see it in the report. Yeah. And round 3 is not going to change anything there. You even hit this Sauron with madness. Yeah, that's a bug, alright. You stunned his Gandalf. Okay, so in round 2, 0 White Council removal on your formation 4. In round 3, you maddened his Sauron, you stunned his Gandalf the White. Formation 2, formation 3. Formation 1. The Bjorn didn't hit you here either. And here is the first hit I can see. So the Weapon Master, of course, it's not affected by the taunt. So this is the first hit into your formation 4, into your Bjorn. First hit I can see. And he hits you twice. Yeah, he hits you once. He hits you twice here. Right? Oh, is it, wait. Undying triggers, blah blah blah. Gandalf the White. Yeah, the Undying Weapons Master. Gandalf continues. Okay, this is Cataphract. So this is the first White Council protection you have here. Did not affect Gandalf the White. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. The bleed doesn't even trigger. Yeah. Here's the protection again. Beyond formation 4, protected by Swan Knight. Same here. Nothing happens. Formation 2. Here is the second hit of his Sauron on your formation 4. That's 2 hits. Pop, pop, pop. It does not even say that the White Council disappears. So, okay. So, Gandalf the White Council continues to affect Cataphract. Okay. If it runs out at this point, you will get the sentence, White Council has disappeared. I do not see the sentence here. Then it's your Gandalf the White attacking, no madness. It's your Bjorn attacking, no madness. It's your Sauron attacking, no madness. Here's Gandalf the White goes one more time, sure. Oh, actually he's stunned. Yeah, his Gandalf the White doesn't even move in round 4, stunned. Here it disappears. Woodman formation 4 attacks, Gandalf the White's. Okay, so I counted 3 instances where you were hit, your formation 4 units were hit. 3 instances. Let's check again for the Saruman Madness to make sure we didn't miss it. Suffers from madness but is resisting. Suffers from madness but is resisting. Nope, nothing here. Check round 2 as well. Nope, nothing here. Yep, this report doesn't make sense. We checked all of the attacks. And we counted a total of 3 hits into your formation 4. Which is roughly what I would expect if you place the triple support setup. Good. So this is, there is something wrong here. I will save this report. Good. Okay, now let's take a look at the next one. So we have Alexander the Great here. Undying, Sauron, Saruman, and Shadows. This is very heavy white council removal, of course. He also has higher levels. He has an R6 Undying with mounted units, 1.0 boost. Very funny. Don't think it's very good, but it's funny. Then we have an R9 Sauron with very high initiative. Okay, so he's going full in on the initiative. I mean, if you look at the command here, this is a tank with 356 command. I will kill this tank in 2 rounds. 2 rounds, this tank is dead. 440 command on the Sauron. This is okay, I guess. He's not tanking with the Sauron, so that's okay. And then he plays the standard stuff here. Not fully refined. Woodman, low defense. Yeah, also low command for Saruman standards. 25 command. Oh, Jesus. This is a super squishy composition here. 25 command. The minus 6%. Yes, this is alright. And this is focus damage targets. Okay, so this is cute. I will explain to you why this is not good. This is not good because Saruman doesn't do focus damage solely. Okay, so this is not accomplishing anything. The only thing this accomplishes is it reduces one of the attacks by like a couple of K. Now these guys have physical damage received minus 15%. This is worthless, I think, and yeah, 70 defense, very squishy. So let's see what happened here. We have Swan Knights. Yeah, okay, so we have the other helmet now, but same. Yep, and yep. Now notably, he has Woodman on Saruman, right? This is bad into Bjorn, and you only counter his shadow here, right? So probably not the best matchup in terms of the units. But I mean, this is a very expensive tier 4 troop. Yeah, Vanguards are tier 4. This is very expensive horses, Shire Protectors. They take insanely long to conscript, and the trolls are also not cheap, right? So I think in terms of the resources, actually you did pretty well here. The eagles again are the expensive ones, right? But it seems fine. So what can happen here? I mean, a lot of stuff can happen here. Your Saruman got hit by madness again. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if your Saruman gets hit by madness in round 1, it's not good. It's not good. Even if he resists the first one because of the extra damage received, right? It's bad. So it is what it is, I guess. Let's see here. The Sauron. This is from Shadow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this must be a Bjorn South Nook. Yeah. Okay. This explains it easily. Your Bjorn got the madness here, which means you won this report by like a huge margin. Like this is not close. If the Bjorn gets hit by madness and you trade like this, crazy, right? So yeah, this is good, and here it did not happen, I suppose. I don't know what units this guy is playing, but this is insane. He has like maybe 2 fights per day with this setup. Especially he's losing, right? So they don't have maximum resources. I mean, this is insane. I think the last time I saw a person playing troops like this was 4 or 5 seasons ago, maybe. Crazy. And here, your Bjorn didn't self-nuke, obviously, so that's why, yeah. That's why it was as easy as it was, right? So yeah, this was good. Good report, very nice. Big win. Nothing to analyze here. And you can see both of his DDs are super squishy. Even with playing these tier 4s, they are dead in like, yeah, I mean, you can take a look, when do they die? Actually, it's surprising that they lived this long, to be honest. Maybe the Saruman didn't hit them good, but they should be dead really quickly here. Yeah. So in round 7, you can say, yeah, okay. In round 8, they were dead. That's, yeah. I guess if you get a little bit unlucky with the head of the White Council, but with this gear, I would expect them to be dead in round 4 to 5. Yeah, it's just very bad gear. And if you look at the focus damage from Saruman here, so which one of his is playing the Saruman, the focus damage bullshit? Was it the Shadow? Or did he change his gear? Yeah, okay, he changed his gear. But we can look here as well. So here's why this armor is not good. So obviously the voice of Saruman is affected, yes, but the of many colors is not, right? Where is your of many colors, Bjorn? Oh, I'm looking around too. Oops, there. So 7,779 focus damage to Mountain Trolls. First problem. You need your focus damage attacks to specifically hit Shadow, which is very unlikely. And then the second problem here, 7,956 poison damage. This is not focus damage. The armor does absolutely nothing. Burn damage. The armor does absolutely nothing, right? So, yeah, you can see that's why this armor is just crap. Don't use it. It's a bait armor. You have much better options available. Okay. Just interesting. Did I have White Council in round 4? I mean, in this composition probably not, because he plays the double White Council. Here it makes absolute sense that you wouldn't have White Council in round 4, right? So if you take a look at the Shadow here, for example, he's stunned. Okay. Saruman, yeah, I don't know. Let's look at Undying then, I guess. Okay, Undying attacks, Swan Knights. So here the Cataphracts don't have White Council anymore. And I would say this makes a lot of sense because, you know, he's playing a composition. This composition is the best composition to remove White Council. I know this because I played the same this season for fun, right? So with this composition, White Council is gone in round 2. Round 2 at the latest, most likely. So let's see here, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can see the White Council still continues to affect Cataphract here. Then we go down to Mr. Saruman. So here we see no more White Council on your Swan Knights, of course. You still have it on your Eagles. I would say that's kind of lucky here. And no more on your Cataphracts. So basically, end of round 2, the White Council is gone, right? Because he plays Saruman and Shadow. Yeah. Yeah, so this makes sense, like I said. Good, what do we have here? We have a fight against Andre. So Andre, I mean, again, it's a guy who plays 3 tier 4 units and Great Beasts. So very expensive composition. His gear is not that bad. He has Arthen Sauron, half agility, R13 Dane, no command. Again, he has to get very lucky that his Dane doesn't die quickly. If he runs into a Skyhelm, his Dane could be dead in round 3. Okay, or round 4, let's say. Round 3 is a bit extreme, but he could be dead in round 4. a Gil-galad Zenith 1 with evasive action and pretty good defense gear. This is very good defense for the tank, right? And a Gandalf the White with R15. If it's not Zenith, I don't know if I would play these two, but it's close to Zenith, so I guess it's okay. And these guys are ignoring stun, and they have 100% chance for Keen Eye, right? So not a bad composition. I mean, obviously, again, the Eagles into these guys is quite bad, right? This is not what you want, but yeah, I mean, this is not bad. So let's see. So here in round 4, again, the Gil-galad is very inconsistent. Sometimes you will hit the White Council, sometimes you will not hit the White Council. This is honestly just luck. Not a lot you can structure around here, but we have. So here you hit White Council, you hit White Council, and you hit White Council 3 times. So yeah, I mean, it happens, I guess. And it is what it is, right? In this composition, I mean, Gil-galad sucks. So in this composition, the only saving grace you have is that you can get lucky in round 4 and the Bjorn hits a lot of White Council, right? But obviously, I mean, this is a big resource win, right? You just lost some Berserkers, you lost half an army of Swan Knights and half an army of Eagles. Again, Eagles it's not that good into these small units, right? Like, it will be hard to have really good resource trades just because of the way unit counters work these days. But in general, Marauders here, big resource win, right? And even so, I mean, you won the fight. So I'm a bit shocked that you didn't kill him, because his Dane has 30 command and 56 defense. So it's a little bit shocking that he lives there. I guess also quite unlucky, but yeah, I mean, this Dane, no comment on that. Okay, so this is the reports that Björn sent me. Yeah, so basically, so one report was really weird. I have no idea how that happens. I have no idea why that happens. I think it was this one. So here I will double check it privately why there was no White Council for you in round 4, but from what I saw, there was something very wrong here, and it makes a lot of sense, because the interaction between these two is not how it should be. The Woodman and the Undying Avoidance, there is something definitely wrong there. And the other problem with the protection, right, and the Undying normal attack, I found a lot of bugs with this as well. So I will take a look at this. I saw 3 instances where your formation 4 was attacked and mitigated damage via White Council, and there should be 7. So we didn't miss 4 instances. That's not possible. We looked at everything. There was no madness. There was nothing. And in addition to that, his Sauron got maddened in round 4, and his Gandalf the White got stunned in round 3. So sorry, in round 3, both of them. So physically, it's not possible for 2 commanders to remove the White Council, especially if it's protected by Swan Knights. That's proper bullshit. This is just, there is some bug here. We will take a look. I will find this bug. This doesn't make sense. But yeah, you find these things when you look at the reports. Okay, so this was Björn. Atzel also sent me a few reports, so let's take a look at those. So here he fought against Mr. Killian. Yeah, again, most of these players don't understand the game. They are playing, I mean, these troops, it's complete bullshit. I'm not even sure if it's worth to dive into this report, because all of the units he plays here are a disaster. Like, he doesn't have any idea what he is doing. The only unit that is okay are the trolls on Sauron. This is fine, but the weapon is wrong. I mean, all of this is just wrong. This is a tank with 311 command and 143 defense, which is terrible. Yeah, why would you play a focus damage weapon on your tank? There seems to be like a proper misunderstanding here. Then he plays Dane with Shire Protectors. That makes no sense. Shire Protectors are probably one of the worst troops to play, because they are very expensive. They only dodge the normal attacks, and you redirect almost all of the damage to your other damage dealer, which is a disaster, right? So this does not work at all. It's a Zenith 9 Dane, which is very, very high. A pretty decently refined unique. We have 267 attack, which makes no sense. You need some command here. You're playing 60 command, 40 defense, and one of the worst troops. So, I mean, this is just, it's not good. It's not good. And that's why his Bjorn does 55k damage, because all of the damage that goes here from the normal attacks goes to Bjorn. Which is something that, I mean, yeah. I think Syla and I discovered this like 5 seasons ago, that this doesn't work, and it always happens the same way. So you will, if you play 1 unit of Shire Protectors and 2 DDs, you will always see this happening. Okay, then you have Gandalf the White with War Chariots. I have no idea why you would play Gandalf the White with War Chariots. War Chariots are usually a very expensive troop that you play in niche situations, or on Saruman it's okay if you have healthy resources and you want to counter the enemy, but on Gandalf the White, absolutely no sense. They have low initiative, 10 is not good initiative. So yeah, no bloodline synergy, literally nothing to comment on here. And then we have Rangers of the North on Beorn. Again, I have no idea why. This is a protection unit, yeah. So this means if someone attacks your tanks and this guy protects the tank, the damage will go to the Beorn, to one of your damage dealers. The Beorn has 20 command and 58 defense. So horrible, yeah. This needs complete rework. He has such high Zenith commanders that I would expect him, I mean the gear is a bit bad, okay, but I would expect him to take you down to like 30% most of the time if he plays correctly. And we don't have a unit counter here. We have, well, I mean the Rangers of the North, I guess, but we have Dragoons on Saruman and Eagles on Beorn. So the Eagles will do nothing against the Trolls and the War Chariots, right, and the Rangers. And the Dragoons just counter the Rangers. So I mean, this is a very good report for Atzel. We have the Sauron with no agility, sadly. I think he doesn't have that set, but we have 2+6 items. We have the Beorn with Perseverance. This is my favorite set personally. I think it's really good on Beorn. We have the Saruman with Fortitude and Divide and Conquer. Not the best in slot set effect, but the gear is nice. 172 command, 63 defense. This is okay. Again, I don't like Dragoons. I think Marauders or Vosus Hunters on Saruman are just 100% better than anything else. And we have Guardians on Gandalf the White with full agility set. Okay, so if we take a look here, let's see when his Beorn dies. It actually interests me. So in round 5 his Beorn is dead. And I guess he got a bit lucky on Dane, but the Dane should also die much more quickly in this composition. So yeah. Mountain Trolls, Guardians and Eagles, good. And you hit the War Chariots, the Mountain Trolls. And the... oh, these guys were already dead, okay. So you killed the Beorn here. Which means if your Beorn was faster, the Beorn wouldn't even have gotten the attack off, which is also funny, right? So... why is your Beorn slower? Does he play agility on his Beorn? No. This is 14 initiative. Plus... you don't have the chest. Okay, you don't have the chest. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's not good. The chest is quite important here, right? So you have 56 and he also has 56. So you have the same initiative here, but because his base commander is faster, he will go fast. Yeah, that's funny. That doesn't happen very often, but in this specific situation, that's exactly what happened. So in fact, you could have lost a lot less even, because his Bjorn could have not moved in that round, right? So yeah. Okay. I see Sylar here, Perseverance overrated. No, it's not. It's definitely the best side effect, but you are an ugly RNG noob who likes to nuke the enemy Bjorn, right? So it's understandable that you play half agility. Me personally, I prefer the consistent results, so I will always take Perseverance over trying to be faster than the enemy. And in addition to that, a lot of people have now started playing Voces on Bjorn as well, especially if it's like a resource tight season, right? In which case the agility doesn't help you, because the Voces Hunters have the initiative in round 4, right? So some things to consider. I did play half agility on my Bjorn 4 seasons ago, I think. But then as I analyzed more and more reports, I realized that the Perseverance is just better in the later rounds. That's really the main thing here. I sometimes used to get stuck in the triple support compositions that the enemy plays. And if you do the Perseverance in round 10, you just kill. Yeah, it doesn't matter. There will be like a couple of trolls left and you kill them in round 10. Which is why I like that build a bit better. But yeah, I mean, the half agility is also good. Full might, yeah, full might is also very good. Yes, I like the full might. It's good. But the half agility, it's okay. You can still play it, but that's just, I've noticed that it's not as good as anymore as it used to be. I guess you can say that. The full might is really good. But like I said, for me it's the late rounds where I want to kill. So against the other Krakens, against other players it doesn't matter anyway. You can do whatever you want. But if you fight like against the proper Kraken, I always pull ahead in the late rounds. It's pretty cool. Okay, so here this is not interesting, but whatever. So what did we see here? So this is Atzel flexing, right? He's just showing that all of these players suck balls. No, I'm joking. He's just showing that all of these players, they don't have the gear that he has, right? They don't have the respect levels. And that's why, you know, this is, yeah, I mean, you can find a lot of reports like this on the server. Of course, it's a really good distraction, and you know that's why you play the meta army with the good gear. But yeah, I mean this is not something that needs to be analyzed here. Okay, and this guy, I mean, I will say this is one of the more intelligent Anno players. Although I'm not sure what he's doing here. Let's take a look. So we have. Yeah, so this guy, I think, is a Season 4 player or something. And for a Season 4 player, this is a pretty wailed out account, honestly. I don't think I was close to these respect levels in Season 4. So he has a Saruman at R6 with relatively decent gear. He understands what he is doing. The Dunedains are a bit questionable. They die too quickly pretty much. So I don't like the Dunedains, but the gear is pretty good. He made the correct decision as well. He doesn't put any gear on the Sauron, right? Sauron is a commander you can play with no gear. So again, this is a smart choice. He's going for the half agility, and that's why he plays the tank on Gandalf the White. Now it makes sense, right? Because he doesn't have the proper gear for the Sauron. I would say, I mean, I don't know what gear he has, but obviously these two items are not good, right? This is pretty terrible. But you can see that this player knows the game a lot better than our dear Killian, for example, right? So he understands what he is doing. He has some command on Gandalf the White, which is why he puts the tank here, yes. Maybe here he was a bit too focused on the set effect. I'm sure he has some command helmet here, which would be infinitely better than this trash helmet. And he goes for the focus here and the focus here, yeah. Again, here, I'm not that familiar with purple gear these days, but I'm sure there's some purple gear that gives unit defense and focus, right? So this would be the better choice here. He just made the mistake of going for the set effect instead of the command and unit defense here. But yeah, he understands what he's doing. He has the Gandalf the White R4 correctly skilled. The Sauron, this is incorrect. This needs to be maximized first. Then you put 1/1 here, and this needs to be maximized last. Yeah. And then he has the Saruman. Let's take a quick look here. So he has 10, 5, 9. I like this. I think this is good. And here he has 10, 10, 4. I would say this is correct in his case because he has such low commander attack that he does need this. Yeah. And the gear is fine here. This is the worst chest in the game probably, but it gives you a little bit of commander attack. So my guess is he doesn't have anything better, which is reasonable at this level. But this is not bad. And I mean, trading like this against Mr. Atzel is very, very good, right? So I would assume the Bjorn was maddened in round 4. I think he said it in the chat already. And yeah, this is exactly what happened. So this is one of the big downfalls of playing Bjorn, right? This is why I did not play Bjorn this season, because I don't want to lose this amount of army in my A team against players like this, right? But yeah, I mean, this is just, you know, this is game knowledge combined with luck. And I'm happy he got that madness, right? Because it made his result a little bit better. But of course, if he doesn't get this, then it's a very clean full wipe. And yeah, the troops here questionable. Put something tanky. Put Guardians, perfectly fine. Put Vosus Hunters on your Saruman. He plays for RNG, obviously. I mean, he can't win without RNG. So you would go for Vosus Hunters on Saruman. You would go for Trolls on Gandalf the White. Great beasts are useless. And then you would go, I would probably go for Guardians on Sauron. Guardians or Marauders on Sauron. And you could go for Marauders or... yeah, Marauders on Shadow are pretty good, right? That would be reasonable. Or you can go, if you want, if you expect the enemies play a lot of Swan Knights, you will put Eagles on Shadow, or, you know, anything that counters the tank, because all of the normal attacks will go into the tank the first few rounds, right? So that's what he should improve. But this player is not bad. I like this report. And let's see if I can find his profile. Where would this player be? Maybe somewhere here we can see him. Let's take a peek here. It's one of the Asian guys that Arnor has. Is this him? Yeah, this is him, I think. Yeah. So he's in his 4th season. So this is not bad. Good job by this guy. Not bad at all. 4th season. Yeah. But of course, I mean, Atzel still destroyed him, yeah, so let's make that clear. Even with the Bjorn Madness, this is a very big resource win, because you just lost some Guardians and some Dragoons. That's why it's important that he plays something tanky here that counters the enemy tank, then he can trade a little bit better. But you didn't even lose half of your Trolls and Eagles here, so, you know, even though he maddened you, this is still a pretty good win. Yeah. Okay, let's look at some of my reports now. What did Siler post here? I think we need space, right? We have 9 out of 10. I always like to have one open just in case we need to do something quickly. I guess we can destroy this one. We can destroy this one actually. Everyone is already there anyway. Let's get rid of this one. Yeah. There we go. Always important that you communicate when you destroy something so that your teammates can still build forts or recall their armies or whatever, right? And we will build the new fortress here at the pass anyway, so that works out well. And Sylar wants to build a fortress. Where was it? At Eregion, I guess. So we can do that. Yep, there we go. Okay, so let's look at some of my reports. So I have some good reports actually. Let's look at the one. Okay, so first of all, I am not playing an A team this season. Okay, I have decided I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna play 4 teams. So what does this mean? If I fight against another Kraken, it means if they play an A team and put everything into one formation, they have a better chance of beating me one-on-one, right? This is what that means. I'm not min-maxing one army. I am looking to have 4 armies that can all trade well, basically. And this is something in a season like this, I think it's perfectly reasonable to do. If there are a couple of Krakens, my armies will still trade decently well that I kill them. And I have just much more range and flexibility to help out on multiple spots. I can protect multiple fortresses from being built. I can participate in several keeps without walking for 4 hours, right? So this is something that, like the big Krakens, if you play a season like this, you will play it like this, basically, right? And let's take a look here. So the first army I played was this army. So I wanted to try out Galadriel this season. I don't think she's a bad commander, to be honest. I think she just has a couple of problems. And the biggest problem for me is that she has no stun immunity. I'm a guy who really likes crowd control immunity, and Galadriel, unlike Sauron, doesn't have that. So that's bad, yeah? Her madness is very good. I like her madness. Her debuff, cleanse, and heal is also very good. She has 2 playable titles, yeah? And she also has some, what's also important to consider about Galadriel is she has White Council removal with this, right? So this inflicts 70% focus damage to 3 enemy formations in round 2, which is not bad. As support, doing that, you know, it's decent, right? But I mean, one of these 2 titles should be better. For example, what would make Galadriel better as a support if she had evasion, or if she had damage mitigation in the late rounds, or if she had a stun, then she would be very playable, yeah, even in the best team. But yeah, it is what it is. So these are just my problems with Galadriel, and of course she has a decent amount of healing, and you always lose very little trolls, right? So she has 20k healing here. I lost, like, what did I lose here? Basically nothing, right? I lost some Marauders and a couple of Eagles. Okay, I don't even have to play Eagles on Bjorn. I can put Marauders here as well, yeah. But anyway, so here we are, and we're fighting a guy called Gertrude or Gertrud. I guess it's a German play on names, because Gertrude is a German first name, quite an old German first name, and of course this is like Ruth, Gert and Ruth, right? So ha ha ha, very funny. But anyway, he has a Gandalf the White with Swarm Knights. Not a fan of that. I think he has plenty of defense and command gear on his Sauron to play the Swarm Knights here. He's playing the double tanks, which is just, it's completely wrong. Yeah, please don't do this. This, like, the resources you lose with a report like this, please don't do it, okay? It hurts my eyes. This is like, you're gone from, this was like early in the season as well. You're gone from the battlefield for like 2 days if you play this, right? Not good. Then we have a Dane with March Wardens, no command, no defense. Yeah, and Saruman, no command, no defense. Exactly the same problem. Which means if my Skull Helm hits any of these 2, they are dead in like round 4 or 5, right? Completely dead. So let's take a look here what happened. So my Skyrim did 13,000 poison damage through White Council with the relic, which is pretty good, right? That's pretty respectable. I don't have a Sauron debuff here, so he gets 62.5% damage received, right? So quite impressive. It means if there is no White Council, she does like 30k damage, right? Which is absolutely insane. And then we go to the, let's quickly check who the Executioner and the Nazgul hits. So Dane will fall victim to focus damage before acting, right? So we hit the Dane and the Sauron, and with this we hit the Sauron, the Saruman, and the Gandalf the White. Okay, so that is reasonable, so let's take a look here. So Nazgul triggers before the White Council here, right? Because his Gandalf the White is slower. And we do 8,393 focus damage to March Warden here, which is, it's not low. Yeah, this is pretty good. Then we go to round 4. This is one of the reports. So if I look at this army, my first thought will be, how is the White Council of the enemy removed by round 4? It doesn't make sense, right? You don't have Saruman, you don't have Shadow, you don't have Witch King follow up, you have like nothing here basically. The Nazgul bypasses the White Council, so surely in round 4 the enemy would have White Council, right? Well, no, they won't have it. I have no idea why. I have to look at this report in detail again, and I will count all of the White Council instances. But my Beyond didn't hit White Council. Yeah, we hit the Swan Knights, we hit the March Wardens, and we hit the March Wardens, and it's full damage, right? I mean, this is insane, because in round 4 he has 2k left of his army, right? So pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to show this. This is the only reason why I want to show this report. So he does have the Gandalf the White, he does have the Sauron. I mean, it's not high respect, but this doesn't matter for this report. He has the Madness, he has the Stun, he has the White Council, right? He has the Saruman, and it didn't matter. Like we got rid of his White Council, and in round 4 my Beyond nuked, and my Skyrim did early round damage, so he was dead really quickly, right? Let's see when he loses his damage dealing commanders. So Saruman is dead after round 5. Yeah, I mean, absolutely crazy, right? And then the Dane will follow in after round 7. So yeah, pretty cool army. I like this army a lot. What's also interesting with Gala is she cleanses stuff, right? This is very interesting. So if you look here, we cleanse the Gandalf the White damage received, and we cleanse the Mountain Troll damage received in round 2, which is a big deal, right? So this is why I mean, Gala is interesting. Yeah, she has potential, but it's a little bit too inconsistent because she doesn't have the stun immunity. But if you cleanse this stuff in the early rounds, it's so strong. Like the enemy will basically do no damage, right? So let's take a look here. We cleanse the Eagles and the Mountain Trolls, right? And we get 7k damage into the Mountain Trolls from Durin's Blood without White Council here. And let's see what the Saruman does. The Saruman does the off many colors here. 4.3k into the Marauders and 4.4k into the Marauders and 6.2k into the Eagles, right? So very low damage here because of these cancels basically, right? So she resists the Madness here, I think, right? So we remove the other damage received plus from the Eagles as well now. And we remove the damage received plus from the Marauders. So yeah, cool report. I just wanted to look at some of these things. I think it's pretty cool. And the enemy, I mean, is not that strong, of course, but the gear is passable. and the troops are very expensive. So, yeah. Okay, then some other stuff I wanted to look at. I mean, this probably does make a lot of sense to look at. I tried out the Legolas this season. I think Legolas sucks really bad. I haven't been able to get impressive results with him at all. It's not a good commander. And the reason is his damage dealing titles are just way too low in terms of the percentage, and he hits like a wet noodle, right? So Legolas, not good, don't play him. He really has nothing special about him. It's not a good commander, very simple, right? Yeah, this is whatever. Let's see. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I hit Isegrim at some point here with my Galadriel army as well. Let's see if I can find this. I think it was, nope, not here. We can take a look at these as well, but this one. So here you can see one of the problems that Skarhelm has, and that's Galadriel, right? So Galadriel will, I'm just checking if he has it, yeah. So Galadriel will cleanse the Skarhelm damage, and that's very, very bad, right? So if we go into round 2 here, okay, I guess she got stunned. That's unlucky for him. Here, so this cleanses the Executioner from Skyrim, right? And that's very, very, very bad, because it means this damage is gone for the rest of the fight, yeah? And that is no good. Skarhelm desperately needs that damage, right? Poison damage is gone, poison damage is gone. So basically from round 6 to 10, my Skarhelm has 0 damage, essentially. And that's why we see the 88k here. Just wanted to point that out, because this interaction is also somewhat niche and a lot of people don't understand it that well, okay? Now, of course, the other problem with Gil-galad, in this case, my Bjorn will definitely hit the White Council, right? So let's go to round 4 here. So here you see White Council into Bone Knight, right? White Council into Bone Knight, and we hit the Swan Knights. So double White Council hit here on round 4, not very good. And these are the problems that you will experience when you play this army, right? Thankfully, our opponent still has a lot of wrong gear and a lot of bad choices here. I mean, this is a very big player, right? He has a very nice account, and a lot of the gear choices he makes here are just not very good. Yeah, this is a nice Galadriel, but she's playing a weird mix of unit defense and focus damage, so not good. The gear is good, but yeah, this is just all wrong. The Gil-galad needs to be unit attack and command. The Galadriel needs to be the tank with initiative, command, and unit defense gear. The Gandalf the Grey, probably you might play him a bit tanky with focus as well, put him in the fronts with heralds so that Galadriel doesn't eat all of the damage, and then the Dane is in the backline with the Bone Knights, and of course he needs a command helmet here, right? This is the worst chest in the game. He definitely has a better chest, so this is a horrible choice. He decided to go for the full set effect instead of the individual stats, which is wrong. This is not good. And yeah, we can see here that Dane did 95k damage, which is terrible, and he died, even though he plays like a triple support army around the Dane, right? And basically this is a direct counter because he has the Galadriel into the Skyrim. Initiative from Gandalf the Grey is also interesting. So what he did was, if we look here at the commanders, my Skyrim still goes before his Gandalf the Grey, and my Gandalf the White still goes before his Gandalf the Grey, even though he plays the full agility here, right? So this is not good. Gandalf the Grey is a slow tank. You gotta accept that. You gotta play him like that. Rest is useless. Good. Okay, now this is just what I want to show with this army. Then with the Undying here, Um, let's see. Where's that? Did I hit him here maybe? No. Where was it? Here. So this is another army I played this season. This is the Evil RP army. I think it's a very good army. I also think it's a very inconsistent army, right? So you can get very good results with this. You can get very bad results with this. If you fight other Krakens, it depends a lot on some RNG stuff. But what this army definitely does well is it removes the White Council very, very quickly. End of round 2, it's gone. You have Weapon Master from Undying, ignores Protection Taunt. You have Saruman, head of the White Council, ignores Protection Taunt. And you have Shadow with splash damage, who only gets mitigated by the Swan Knights. If you are smart, you will play something on Shadow that will kill the Swan Knights quickly. And by something, I mean a large unit, right? So this is what I do here. I play Eagles on Shadow. His Swan Knights are that really quickly, I bet. I have the Warcry as well. If you look at my gear, it's obviously pretty optimized, right? I opted for the lore of the Arcane here because I wanted to have this helmet on my Saruman. I'm playing Wosa's Hunter anyway. I have the initiative. I don't need to care that much about speed. We play full agility on Sauron with Berserkers, unit damage. This is how you play him in this army. Very fast, cut the White Council quickly, increase the damage received, and do some unit damage. You can play Snagathrax here as well, of course. And then I play a super tanky Undying with 1 focus item for the heal. You can see this is proper defense. This is how a tank should look like. 206 defense. With the Bloodline boosts, it's 216, I think. Evasive action, slow commander, full tank, 654 command. Very, very solid tank, right? And we have the unique at 4 out of 5 stars, I think, so good unique as well. And you can see, like, I just absolutely smashed him. Like, he... and this is where you really see the problems, right? If you fight a similar Kraken and you don't play command, even with the triple support, the Dane did 45k damage. Like, he gets deleted, yeah? So if we take a look here, let's take a look at round 2 maybe? Yeah, so in round 2, the White Council is already gone from the Swan Knights, as you can see. So we do 1836. We do it the Bone Knights as well. So the Swan Knights get hit here, then we hit the Bone Knights. We hit the Swan Knights again. So you can see this is just crazy damage, right? Like this is every round for the first 4 rounds, this goes into the Swan Knights, and that's just very, very hard to deal with for the enemy. And then of course we have the Saruman as well. So in this round, I guess because I play Wosus, the Saruman still removes the White Council, right? Which we can see here. Very nice. And the proper damage, it comes in round 4, right? So even though he plays a triple support with Gil-galad here, you can see the Swan Knights they just get deleted really, really quickly. So we have 4.3k focus, 4.3k poison, and here, yeah, this is very important. In round 3, at the start of the round, the Bone Knights already don't have White Council anymore, and we do 8.296k into the Bone Knights, which is absolutely insane, right? Usually, in the normal NRP meta composition where you play Sauron, Gandalf the White, Saruman and Beorn, you will see that your Saruman in round 3, 95% of the time, the of many colors will be stuck in the White Council. And what can even happen in round 4 is that your Beorn gets stuck in 1 White Council, right? And here, the White Council is absolutely gone in round 3, regardless of what the enemy plays, right? We have evasion here from Gil-galad. We have the Gandalf the White Council, and it's just from round 3 onwards, he has no protection anymore. And then you just go crazy on the tanks, right? You will see this shadow damage is really starting to stack up now. We have, let's see how much is this. So this is 4.4k, 5.4k, 6.3k. This is why I play Black Numenorian, by the way. It does like 2.1k focus damage, right? So definitely play that. 6.3k, I think I said. 8.4k, 9.4k, 9.9k, let's say 10k, 12k, 14.7k, and 15.7k. 16,300 damage by Shadow in round 4. 16,300 damage by Shadow in round 4. And he does this 4, 5, 6, right? So, absolutely insane. The Saruman damage will be pretty crazy here as well, I imagine. Okay, so one of the formations here, I guess one of the formations got lucky and still had White Council, but that doesn't matter because the next big Saruman nuke is here, right? So, oh, we even got stunned here, see, so we got some unlucky RNG as well, which is good to see. Very, very good to see. So, here, 11k to Bone Knights, and then 4.9k, 4.1k, 4.8k, of course. I just wanted to see the White Council pretty much in one of these rounds. I think this is the last round, right? Yeah. So 1.1k, so this is 2.5, let's say 3.5, 4.5, 4.6, 5.6, 6.6, 7, 7,000 from head of White Council, and like this is like over 20k from just the head of the White Council and the Shadow normal attacks. I mean, it's absolutely insane, right? And if we take a look here, let's see when his Dane dies. Did we stun his Dane as well, maybe? Yeah, okay, we stun his Dane as well in round 6, so. Okay, so after round 7, the Dane is dead, right? Which is in a triple support army, by the way. That's really, really strong, right? Okay, so then I'm also playing this army this season. I've changed this army a lot since this point, but this was still good to see. My friend calculated the resource trade for me. We lost this by 6% resources, so not a huge loss. My opponent is playing a very expensive composition, complete meta army, right? Sauron, Beorn, Gandalf the White, and Saruman. His Saruman is not Zenith. He has the wrong set effect here. His Gandalf the White has no command. His Beorn has no command. His Beorn doesn't have the Palantir. And his Sauron is full agility, which I personally disagree with, but at least in this army, I don't think the full agility on Sauron is recommended personally, but whatever, I mean, this is debatable, but these other small things he doesn't do correctly, but apart from that, he has Zenith 5 Sauron, Zenith 5 Sauron, Zenith 11 Gandalf the White, and R15 Saruman. So obviously a really strong account, right? And he's playing full War Chariots, and I mean, we didn't do too poorly here, right? I'm playing some pretty troll commanders, a Witch King, a Thorin. These two are very good. But then we play Gothmog, and we play King Aragorn, and as a troop supporting commander, right? So I mean, obviously this is not going to destroy the meta army like this. But we didn't do too bad, yeah. I mean, this was okay. We got some decent damage on Thorin. The Beorn was really the problem here, right? Which makes absolute sense. And the way to mitigate this is to just play the Kirin instead of the King Aragorn, right? So if you put Kirin here instead of King Aragorn, I will win the resource trade by like 20% most likely. And and my Gothmog died too quickly because I decided to go for a Warcry here instead of an evasive action. But I mean, it's not bad. It's an interesting report, and like I said, I changed some stuff since I did that. Here you can see another very good report with this army. The guys playing Bjorn are 14, Gandalf the White Zenith 3, Dane Zenith 3, and Gil-galad Zenith 2. The gear is not that bad, he's no slouch, and we actually win this fight into a counter, right? So he has a triple counter on us, and we win this fight. Yeah, I mean, this report was one of the reports where I was really surprised, and we just do, like, the Thorin, you can see the soldier damage here is 246,000. That's insane into Gil-galad with White Council and no unit counter. Insane, really, really strong, yeah? And he did 162k commander damage, so we won, so we did 264k here, and he did 205k here, which includes my Snaggathrak damage, right? The Snaggathraks have self damage. So this is like 15k Snaggathrak self damage roughly. And this is a really solid report. Again, he doesn't have a Sauron, so that's the big downfall here. But I mean, this is, you could say this is one of the meta armies that some people play. We saw this in lane as well last season, right? Gil-galad, Gandalf the White, Dane and Bjorn. So, you know, this is one of those reports where I was really happy. Really cool, and the Thorin just hits really hard. Yeah, if you look at like round 3 here, and the Snaggathraks attack. Okay, so here they attack the mountain trolls still, which is probably not the best example, right? Because yeah, you still have White Council here, right? Okay, okay. So let's see. Here. So Snaggathrak attacks the Bone Knights in round 4, which means we have already lost some units, and it does 11,000 damage to Bone Knights. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's not low damage. Yeah, that's pretty strong. And this is Gandalf the White, who also has some command. So, yeah, quite interesting. And then here we have the Snaggathraks attack as well, and they do 8.3k into the Bone Knights. They also get the Overlord boost here. And these, what commander? This is also Gandalf the White. So 8.3k. I mean, that's not bad. That's 20k damage from 2 unit-based commanders, right? So not bad at all. And if we check here, I think the bolt did not affect the other Snaggas here. Let's take a peek here. No, so we had Snaggathraks and Berserkers, right, for the bolt, which is standard RNG. There's nothing special about that. Did we get a stun with Witch King? I forgot, I didn't check that. This is also important, I make my Witch King slow so that the White Council gets mitigated here already. This is on purpose, yeah, because obviously your Witch King is not focus damage dealer in this army. We got a stun on the Dane here, which honestly I wouldn't say this is too lucky, because one of the stuns will hit the Dane, right? You have the Nazgul, you have the other thing, what is it called? The Lore of the Nazgul and the Nazgul. One of those stuns is going to connect. You also have the other stuff from Thorin, the Revivalist is another 15% chance. And then, I will talk about this later, you can put Azog instead of Gothmog. Azog basically does the same thing as Gothmog, only a little bit better, and he has a stun as well. So, I mean, if you play Dane, it's very likely you're going to get stunned at some point, right? So, I would say this is pretty good. I'm very happy with that report, and I just wanted to show that. Yeah. Okay, was this all of my armies? So I showed the Witch King, I showed the Undying, I showed the Galadriel, and I showed the Gandalf the Grey. Yeah, so those were my armies this season. If we take a look here, this is an interesting report as well. Isegrim, where is he? I want to find the fight where my army fought the NRP meta of Isegrim. It could be that the report is too old. The game just selects some random reports to save. Yeah, I guess it's too old. But basically what I had was I fought... I'm just making sure it's not further down here, but I don't think so. Yeah, no. So this army, I fought the NRP army of Isegrim that I just showed, and I won, surprisingly. I think it's because he's lacking some command and stuff, and I still think the Ganesh the Wild is the better choice than the Undying in the NRP meta army because of consistency reasons. But you can definitely win against the NRP meta army with this evil RP army, which is quite interesting. And there was no stupid RNG. My Undying did not madden his Bjorn, my Sauron did not madden his Bjorn. It was a pretty normal fight, and I won by like a 3k difference into War Chariots, which is pretty good, I would say. So again, if he plays command and he adjusts his units more intelligently, maybe the fight would be closer, but I was pretty surprised that I won that quite easily. Maybe I have this report saved somewhere. I think I might have not sent it into the collection tab. I don't remember, honestly. Let's see. Did I even... I think I screenshotted the report, but I don't think I saved it. Because this is an interesting report to look at, just because, you know, from a perspective of evil RP versus meta NRP army, right? Where could I have posted this? Or if I look for easy, maybe I didn't post it. I honestly don't remember. Oh, I might have posted it in the... I might have posted it here. Yes. Has media or image. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. I don't see it. Here it is. I found it. Yes, I found it. Okay. Alright, how do we do this? I guess I just quickly share the screen, whatever. There we go. So, this was the report. I did not play Snagathrax on my Sauron, and personally I think it's probably more reasonable this season to play Vosus on Shadow instead of Eagles, simply because a lot of enemies are running Trolls, and your Shadow, the only job of your Shadow is to kill the enemy tank, right? That's the only role really. So if I see they play a lot of Trolls, I'm obviously not going to play Eagles, I'm going to play Vosus Hunters on Shadow as well. But anyway, so we decided to play this, and you can see here we just very cleanly won the fight, right? We're at 2.5k command, he's at 0 command with Mountain Trolls and triple Chariots. I mean, this is like 75% plus resource trade, if not higher. The only thing I really lost here was roughly half a Mountain Troll army, a little bit more than half. Let's say 75% Mountain Trolls I lost and 75% Eagles. And the Berserkers and the Vosus Hunters are dirt cheap, right? So that doesn't matter. But, I mean, this is a very solid report. And yeah, like I said, his Bjorn, no madness there, no crazy stuns. Just... very good report, yeah. It would be nice if there were like some other Krakens so that I could run this again and see if we get similar results, but I was quite happy with this. And this is without white council, right? So pretty cool. So I just wanted to show that quickly. We will go back to our screen here. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let's look at the reworked Witch King army maybe quickly. Here we have Gandalf the Grey versus Isengrim. Honestly, this report was also not that bad. You can just see once again that the Legolas really struggles in most of the fights. It's just not that amazing, really. Yeah, this was bullshit. This is nothing to look at. Let's see here. It's also an old report. Did I change it here already? Maybe. Maybe we can take a look at one of these. Yeah, so this is what I'm rocking now with Kirum. But unfortunately, I can't hit a lot of people who it makes sense to hit with this army, right? So I gave Kirum the Gothmog gear, and Gothmog got slightly different gear than King Aragon, and this has been doing really well. Basically, what you would do is you would switch Gothmog for Azog here, and it would be even better, but I just wanted to try this out for fun and see how it does. And I guess this is one of the better players to hit. I wasn't full here, my Thorin was already low, that's why in troop compositions, if you take multiple hits, it's really hard to get good results, right? It's just... so I think I hit him one time when I was full, let's see. Yeah, so here, as long as the enemy is like not a full Kraken, I mean this is also pretty free to play, right? But you can see like the commanders definitely do damage. The ones who are supposed to do damage definitely do damage. We have 45 to 82 damage stat here. If we look at Dane has like, or if we look at Bjorn, Shadow has 48 to 67. So you can see my Snaggers here, the damage stat in the fight is higher than the Shadow, for example, which is pretty funny because is it at the start of round 1? Yeah, here. Because of the Witch King extra boost, right? So Kirum gives them plus 10%, then Witch King gives them another plus 5%, so you get Snaggathrax that have 46.8 to 85.8 unit damage, which is of course crazy, right? Like these hit so hard. Yeah, see, 8,450 into the Ravages. And then of course the Thorin also hits very hard if they are not stunned. So we have 8,791 into the Berserkers as well, right? So very cool. Okay, now this report is good to look at because this shows the negative side of the Evasion army, right? We have an opponent here who is playing triple March Wardens with Gil-galad, and I'm basically the only protection I have here is the Undying Evasion, right? Which is mitigated by the March Wardens. So this is one of those reports I would wipe this player super easily if I played the meta NRP army, right? Which would be Sauron, Gandalf the White, Saruman and Beorn. I also have the large units on my Shadow here. You can see the problem, Shadow into Gil-galad, very bad. We did 56k damage. And yeah, that's just, I think this is also good to realize that a lot of people on the Discords now say that the evil army is so strong and blah blah blah. This is in fact not true, yeah. The same problems that this evil army had a couple of seasons ago, they still have this problem, yeah. So, of course, like I said, if I play Vosus here, we probably kill the Gil-galad quicker and it changes the fight slightly. But as I already said before, Gandalf the White is still way more consistent than than the Undying. So yeah, 23k heal here. We lost some Eagles, which is probably the only unit that matters. And he does play the triple march ones, but yeah, just to show that. And here you can see my troop army. So this is interesting. This army did worse than the troop army into Gil-galad, right? And this makes a lot of sense because the troop army is built so that it survives longer, right? It's pretty tanky, it has high command, it has the unit counter into the great beasts, and it's just funny to show, right? You can see that these days you're really very flexible on what you play, and it really depends on what the opponents play and what you want to achieve for your team with your army and all of these things, right? So this did very well. I'm super happy with that, and we won this resource fight by a pretty large margin. And this is obviously his A team, and this is just something fun that I cooked together for the season, right? So this was a cool report. And we can see the Kieran and the Thorin do really good damage. His Dane is dead. No command, very bad, right? If we look here, round 4 for example, we check the Thorin damage here. We have 5,631 on the Grey Beast. Kieran, I guess, got stunned, which is unlucky. And here we got... wow, White Council was still active in round 5. That's interesting. I guess that's because of some stuns. But see, so here we got 7,069 damage on the March Wardens in round 6 with a troop-based composition, right? So pretty impressive, honestly. Yeah, I was very happy with this report. And we can also check if we stunned the Dane at the start. That's the other relevant thing, right? Like I said, it does happen quite a lot, so it's not really total luck. We stunned the Sauron here. Okay, we didn't stun the Dane. Is this Sauron not stun immune? Okay, it is, so it didn't do anything. Yeah, good. So that's that. Yes. Let me just check if the Sauron is not stunned. I want to make sure. Yeah, okay, good. Good. Yeah, these random love guys, I mean, I don't have to show these reports because like the gear and respect difference is just too large, right? And here, so if we hit Andre with a full army troop-based, we can kill him quite easily and get a good resource trade. Again, if you don't start at full with the troop-based army, you will struggle, yeah? Because your guys are gonna die too quickly. Even if it's just 1k less, it's not good, yeah? So yeah, those were the reports that I wanted to show. Another report that shows this is not a good matchup for me, right? Yeah. So very nice. I am quite happy with this. I guess this guy attacked me or something and we wiped him, so very cool. Let's quickly grab our alchemists back. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, when I talk a long time like this, I'm not paying attention to the fights, right? That's okay. We're gonna transport some more troops here. There we go. And I think our fort will be done soon. Yep, 37 minutes. Then I will wipe this guy. I will check where his forts are because, like always, some people cannot behave. It is what it is. We will close this pass most likely as well. I've already told the other team that we will close this pass again. And we just have to get rid of all of the iron forts here because, yeah, these people are just terrible people. Don't stick to any agreements. We've been kind enough to give them a capital, and you know, some of them are just, yeah, not a lot to say about it, right? I'm just checking the forts and I will see if he has built another one. We can scroll out as well, that makes it easier. So let's see where he is. Nothing here. Let's see here. This is Connor. He's fine. Rohan Ford will be popped most likely. I think that's his last Ford actually, the one that we just popped, so we can feel pretty good about that. Okay, so here's some more Iron Thoughts that I will get rid of. Let's see. Oh, and the Rohan guys. Yeah, we also have to get rid of the Rohan guys, of course. It's good. Alright, well, I don't see any other Ford of him. I popped 2 of his Fords today, I think. I'm gonna check if he has troops in his Ford, actually. Let's take a peek. There we go. Okay, my Galadriel. Okay, so my Undying has arrived. This is good. We'll press guard here, and I do want to collect some reports with my Galadriel against the Loth guys, so we will send her up quickly. Speed up this march, blah blah blah. We finish this. Nice. So here, what we're gonna do is, I've decided I'm gonna do this. There we go. And then we're gonna move here. Hopefully there will be some PvP later. Doesn't look like it currently, but hopefully yes. And this we need to adjust because we are not sending our Undying here. Which means we just need to transport Marauders and Trolls. So let's do that quickly. Let's do it like this. This is good. And do we have something in here? This we can also send home. It's a bit annoying if you always have to, you know, reset the troop stuff, but yeah, I think this is fine. This is fine here. Alright, yep. Good. And we'll transport the next troops here. Yeah, this works out well. We have the Witch King here now, very nice. Good, so that's all done. Now we can talk a bit again. So, what's happening? Are we close to backend? No, we are not. We have roughly, what did I say before? 3 weeks left, 20 days, yeah. Can Witch King do more than 100k damage without Isengard tier 4? I would say no, I don't think so. I mean, can, yes, but if you fight against the proper opponent, no. The 2 commanders where you can get more than 100k damage with Snaggathrax are Kiron and Thorin, because Thorin has the bolt always on him, so he will always get that extra proc, and Kiron has plus 10% unit damage. So those are 2 commanders where your Snaggathrax will get more than 100k, even against better opponents or against strong opponents. I showed some good reports with them where the opponent had pretty much gold gear and some evasion and white council and things like that, and pretty consistently you get around 100k or more, so it's nice, yeah. Of course, if the bolt lands on your Snaggathrax, on your other Snaggathrax composition, then it's even easier, right? But yeah, it can do damage for sure. It's good. Okay, so he emptied his fort, which is fine. So let's recall these guys quickly. Yeah, I don't even need my siege here, to be honest, but my other siege I think is already here. Yeah, okay. So do the guys need me for this keep? I don't think so, honestly. 20 UTC. I mean, sure, I can move here, I guess. Yeah. Oh, it takes 1 hour to march here, really? That's too long. Yeah. I thought it was a bit closer than that, but that's fine. We'll pop some Rohan forts. We take some of this stuff back. I have to be careful here because I don't want to block the Gondor guys again, right? So I'm not gonna move from here. I'm just gonna chill here, and yeah, we already did enough today anyway. So this is actually a report where you can look at the Legolas damage. You can see it's always less than the Dane, for example, right? So it's not good, yeah. And this is a very random player with just a bit of purple gear. So yeah, Legolas is not good. The Radagast and Gandalf the Grey heal is solid. We healed for 29k here, right? We barely lost anything, so that's not bad. But Legolas is just one of those commanders that's not that good, yeah. Okay, so that's it for the stream. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sure a lot of people will watch this back and nerd a bit out on the report stuff we looked at. So the one report with Björn where he didn't have white coins in round 4, I'm 100% sure it's a bug. Something didn't work there correctly. I will look at this again when I have a little bit more time, maybe tomorrow, but yeah. The rest of the reports were quite interesting. We saw some good stuff. We saw an evil RP army take on the meta NRP army. We saw some unit compositions doing 100k plus. We saw that even weak players can get some nice madness on Bjorn. We saw that, you know, Woodman and Undying evasion works together decently well. So some interesting stuff, yeah. And yeah, I mean, I like I said, it's the end of the season. Maybe we can set up some PvP arena somewhere, or you know, just chill. Gondor took this keep now, very good. I hope they relocate here. Let's take a look if anyone has already built a reload camp or something. Yeah, so very good. So probably what we are going to do is I'm going to give them, we don't have to be too anal about this. I'm just going to give them until Wednesday to relocate here, and then we can close this pass, and these stupid Iron players can no longer annoy me with their nonsense here. This guy, I mean, these guys are just so, like, I hate people like that, honestly. Like, he's just going there to farm the tile, and then he disappears for 10 hours on his side of the pass. And this is, they've been doing it like for the past 3-4 days, and I always have to log in and take back these shitty tiles, right? It's just, it's mad annoying, and it's really unnecessary. But you have people like that, sadly, in this game, who also insult you in private messages, right? Like, this guy, this doesn't even translate what he said, because it's not allowed by the game, basically, right? It's, yeah, not worth to talk about, but yeah, we want to give Gondor some rewards, because most of them have been nice and respectful. Also, the leader in the Discord chat that I chat with him almost daily now, he's a nice guy, you know. And people like that just ruin it for the entire faction, because if we didn't win this season so easily, of course, I couldn't do anything for them, because they have some idiots who keep breaking the rules and doing stupid shit, right? So if it's like a close season, you can't afford that in your backyard. You would lock down the pass, take the last territories, and give them a Traveler or Explorer badge. But since we are nice, you know, we give them a chance to relocate here, finish with the capital, and just some of them, they don't appreciate it, or they're just rogue idiots, you know. It is what it is. But we'll lock this pass down on Wednesday again, and then, you know, it's done, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah, good. Okay, so thank you for watching the stream, guys, and I'm sure we will have another stream at some point. I'm very sporadic with these streams. It just depends when I have time, right? And yeah, I wish you guys a nice evening. I wish you guys a nice weekend. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.